This is nearly full squad right
Yes,
here.
yes, yes. Good afternoon, people. We're back. We've got the dream team. It's a great quartet we got here. We're going to introduce them after the intro. Yes, good afternoon, people. It's the Armoury TV. We're back for a lunchtime special. Now, people have said in the comments they haven't seen such a strong back four since Adam, Keogh, Dixon, and Winterburn. So,
Done, mate. We're done.
yeah, I'm happy to see this. We got with us today, James. How you keeping, bruv?
What's good, bro? Yeah, man, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, can't complain, man. Happy, happy. I'm seeing lots of smiles. No bigger than Canners right now. That grin ear
Ah,
to ear.
li-
He's saying,
life is good right now, man. Traveling, watching Arsenal pick up 3 points, watching the team play some sexy football. Come on, man. Life's good. Life's
I hear
good.
that. I hear that. And yeah, no introduction needed, innit? My long time brethren. Nigel, what are you saying?
Oh yeah, now my people. It's your dark-skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, today you better understand. How's the guys doing today, bro? What's going on?
Love
What's
He's
that.
saying.
Love that.
And a last minute addition. I wasn't expecting to see this guy here,
going
but now we got the
on?
DM in front
Headline
of the
day
back four.
transfer.
We got the DM in front of the back four is just coming just to solidify us a little bit more, just to add that little bit more strength. Brother King, what we saying, bro? You good?
What's good, man? What's good, man?
Yeah, all
Great
good,
to
all
be
good.
here. Great
Yeah, man,
weekend.
for
Bro.
real.
We are cooking with gas, you know. Oh,
All right, get him
yeah,
up,
man.
comes. He's gonna gas me. Get him up. He's gonna
Yeah,
gas
no,
me up.
it's that, I think it's that time,
Bro,
and James is gonna say,
he's gonna gas me up. Gunner, don't do it to
and,
me today, please. Allow it.
and do you know what James is gonna say? I told you up from the start, where you lot are taking too long to get to the party, because James, you was the first one who was excited from the start of preseason. Like
Yep.
even before preseason started, as soon as the season ended, you was that actually I could see something big happening. And how do you feel you're justified in that now?
Yeah, man. Of course I am. I'm always right. It's in my surname. Nah, bro. It's all gas. It's all gas. We're just looking good. We're looking good. Not get. I want to keep my feet on the ground. I'm not going to be singing top of the league for a little bit, but yeah, man. It's good. Kits are wavy, performing well, sunny. What's not tough?
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that.
I'll do this
And
thing for you.
you
We
know,
are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.
you know, we went for a party
Look,
yesterday. There's a load of United fans, a couple of Chelsea, one Chelsea fan, one Tottenham, and one Liverpool. And obviously, I'm watching the game on my phone as we're driving back. So when I'm seeing City getting pumped 3-1, that's all you could hear was me singing top of the league. I think I drove everyone crazy, but I had the Arsenal shirt on. I didn't care. I said, I'm enjoying this moment while I can, man. And yeah, like obviously today's show, we will come around the panel. It is meant to be a transfer show, but when you got a star-studded cast like we got here today, it would be rude not to talk about the weekend's fixtures. And actually, if again, I answered the question on Saturday: is it the teams are playing that bad, or are we just making them look really bad? And it's not just 3 games. This is now 5 games because I'm adding Chelsea and Sevilla to that as well. We've asked that question every week. Why are we making it look so easy? Like, is it the opposition are really bad? And I'm starting to think maybe it's not. Maybe it is this team are just on job. Like, and we're going to get into that. But first of all, couple of transfer links this morning. The Pedro Neto one seems to be heating up. Before we go anywhere else, I'm going to go to Nigel on this because he's been doing his homework. So Nigel, what's your thoughts on the Neto talk now? And are you kind of getting excited by this one?
Look, when I saw it initially this morning, I was like, here we go again. Because I remember a few weeks ago when Wolves signed Guedes or something. I was like, yeah, this opens up the door for Neto to Arsenal. I'm like, you lot are gas. What are you talking about, man? But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it was because obviously they both have the same agent. So the agent might have been, you know what? let me hook you up with a replacement, but my agent wants to go to Arsenal, innit? So it could be something like that. So I don't know. But with that being said, Neto, even though he's not looked the same since he's come back from his injury, he's 22 for goodness sake. So that's what I was a bit worried about at first, because he hasn't looked the game since his injury, but he's not had a lot of minutes since his injury anyway. And he's 22, Prem proven. He's a strong runner as well. I think his best work is done on the left, which is what I kind of wanted. I always said I wanted someone to push Martinelli, but he can also play on the right as well. Give Saka a little bit of a rest. Yeah, and bro, I see nothing but good things from this signing. The only thing I'm a bit and iron about is the fee, because I wouldn't have wanted to pay 55 million for Pedro Neto, because that they were talking those same sort of figures for Sane, for goodness sake, and we all know he's the better signing. So I would rather get him for less. But if they're gonna sign him and they send him midfielder, who am I to say? I know be accountant.
And I think it's one of them ones as well, because I think there were similar question marks when Liverpool went for Jota, and it was like, does he improve them? Does he score enough goals? His GNA isn't the greatest, and we've seen what he's done. We see firsthand because he loves playing Arsenal, but he is a finisher. And sometimes it's not the player who is the system they have to play in at Wolves. They are quite a defensive team, which then counter-attack. They don't have the biggest goal threat unless Jimenez is fit and available, and he's been hit and miss for the last 2 years since the injury. Again, from Arsenal. So actually, him playing in a different system, you might see him fly. And again, you see it with Mane at Liverpool. You've seen it with Jota at Liverpool. Like, once they went into Klopp's system, the GNA just went through the roof. So yeah, I think this is why we have to kind of stop looking at GNA, because actually these players could be good players just playing in a bad system. And once you free them up, it could be a problem. Canas, what's your thoughts on Neto? Happy if he comes in, and you and Nigel, again, the price may be a bit too high.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I am excited. However, it's tempered with the fact that, as Nigel said, that, since his injury, he's not really been the same player. There is a couple of things. I mean, I guess I can ask everyone really, and including yourself, Gamza. Who would you rather have, Jeremy Pino or Neto?
Neto for me. I'll go first, but part of me still likes the Gakpo thing. I think he's maybe just a bit more of a natural finisher, and he can play as the central player. So he would still be my favourite. But again, I think the fact that Neto's played in the Prem then also puts him very high up on the list for me. He's just got that Prem experience, and he's a bit older than the other two, isn't he? So
yeah, I get the only problem also I have with the Neto link is the fact that how much is he going to cost? If they got 44 million for Morgan Gibbs White, how much they're going to let Neto go for? That's skywards of 50 mil, right? And is he that? I'm not 100% sure. Listen, it's exciting. There's a couple of links and everything. There is another link actually. I don't know if you've seen this kid play.
Is that the Ukrainian boy?
Woof.
Is he like that? Is he hot like that?
Oh my God. I stopped watching his clips because after a minute, and I was just like, I've seen enough.
Really?
Listen.
Steady on, Canners. You were
no.
about
I won't
seasons ago. Now you got this guy, bro.
Listen.
Still playing in the championship, bro.
No. No. I beg you, no. Watch this kid.
All right, I'm on that today.
He is serious.
He's no slouch. I've seen him.
He is fast. He's you know, when Cristiano Ronaldo came,
they call him the Ukrainian Neymar, innit?
Yeah.
Listen, the things I'm seeing this kid do, and I'm like,
it's got mad tricks, man.
And he's a left winger, but he's right footed. So it'd be and
good link up for Zinchenko, isn't it? Because Zinchenko plays on that left hand side, and 100%. Even when he plays in midfield, he plays as a left-sided interior.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, listen, him. I mean, I think that the Neto links is obviously something understandable because he can play both right and left, and we do need that kind of cover there. We do need someone to cover Saka because he can't suffer the burnout that he had last year. So, and I don't know. I mean, does he start? Does Neto start for us?
But I think that's the key. I think it's not even about starting. It's that drop off when someone else has to come in.
Right.
I think that's what we need to improve on, isn't it?
There's not much better out there, really, to be honest. If you're being honest, there's not much better out there. I mean, obviously there was links and there was a little tentative kind of question on Rafinha, and he probably would have been possibly would have been a starter. And it's good that we're looking for that kind of profile player. But yeah, I'm happy with the links. The Jota comparisons as well are going to be there. He's young. His work rate is up there. Listen, man, I think it's a good thing, but we do desperately need a centre midfielder also as well. Just one thing I just want to touch on, where you spoke about us and how we're playing. The biggest difference, right, between us last year and this year is Gabriel Jesus.
Yep.
Flipping it, man.
Cannons, I'm going to hold you there because we're just going to finish the transfer stuff.
I'll stop there.
But we'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, just quickly, James, we'll come to you. You've been relatively quiet. For you, what kind of winger would you be after? There's been also links with Hudson-Odoi about a loan with him. So would something like a Hudson-Odoi on loan with the young Ukrainian boy prove more beneficial than getting someone like Pedro Neto? You're getting two players for cheaper. You can then put a bit more money elsewhere. Plus, a bit more cover, isn't it? And then less pressure on the Ukrainian. I don't know his name, so I'm going to
Modric.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm caught in two minds. So I kind of want a cheat code in the sense of, I don't know, Spurs have Son, Liverpool have Salah. I want someone that's a winger that's just going to bag you 20, 25 goals right now. But we ain't going to get that in Gnabry or Sane because there's we missed out on Rafinha as well. So I can understand where we're going with it. It's more competition for places than anything, and it's reminiscent to when Pep took over at City when he rebuilt. He brought in all of these youngsters: Jesus, Sterling, Sane. He had a core of attackers that were young that could play centrally, could play left, could play right, and just compete for minutes. And that's what we're going to have here for, I think, this season, going into Europe, going into the Prem as well. I mean, I'm not going to complain if you give me the winger options of Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Pedro Neto. I think that's fantastic quality, considering Martinelli and Neto can play, or even Saka can play on both wings, and Smith Rowe can play left-sided winger, central midfielder, right centre mid, left centre mid. So we have a lot of variation there. I'm just, again, I've been clamoring on about it in the summer as well. I feel like this season Smith Rowe has to not figure out where he's going to play because he's still young, but where he fits into the jigsaw a little bit, because all of these signings now, I'm wondering where he's going to fit in, and I'm excited to see where Mikel plays him. I'm just worried a little bit to see where he's going to slot in long term. So yeah, I'm happy with those three as rotation options.
To be fair, he's been a bit of the forgotten man, hasn't he, Smith?
He has, and I really like him on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
I really like him as a right center. I like him as an 8, and I've been saying he should play an 8 for a while. But I just feel like
he will be an 8 or a 10.
Yeah, I feel like if
especially
I don't know, especially in the combination of him, man. In him and Saka, this is what I like, is when Smith Rowe had that cameo on the right hand side, you can see it, how fluid our attack looks, and I feel like he has a great combination with Saka. So I don't know, I feel like Saka is a bit isolated when we play like Tommy and Odegaard, because they don't offer what Saka needs, is the overlap or someone to come inside so he can cut in,
you say that, James, but there was a lot of great link-up play with Saka and Odegaard last season, and we really enjoyed a lot of that.
Yeah, I think Cedric helped that.
Yeah, Cedric was the overlap, which
Cedric creates the space, doesn't he? But and again, this is a good thing. So it gives us a lot of options, because depending on what players you play where, it just changes our whole approach. And as I said, if your team going to play Arsenal at the moment, you can't really guess. At the moment, you can guess what our 11 is, but I think when Europe starts, it's going to be very hard to guess what we're going to start. Because again, if Odegaard plays or Smith Rowe, it's going to be played different. if Cedric plays or Tomiyasu, it's going to look different. Again, Tierney and Shinchenko is going to look different. So I think there's lots of different ways we can be very fluid, and we're going to offset teams. And with that being said, I'm not sure if you see the picture. I don't know if my friend just took it and sent it to me in a WhatsApp chat. I can't remember if it's in our group or a different group chat, but there was a picture when Edu was talking in the Prime documentary. He was talking about Arteta and it had the board behind him with the players and where he sees them playing. And actually, there was no striker on there. So the 2 striker positions, it was blank. So that was before Nketiah was obviously going to get offered a contract. So this happened before Nketiah had his run in the team. So it looked like Nketiah was probably on the way out. And so there was no striker there. On the left, it had Martinelli. And actually in the 10 position, it had Odegaard and Smith Rowe. So I think they both will see Smith Rowe as a central player. But again, it was just current minutes is important. And like Wenger used to do back in the day, a lot of the players started playing on the wing before they moved inside because it's less combative, isn't it? It's kind of, you can get your minute. You're going to not get less kicks, but you've got more time on the wing sometimes than in that central area. There's a lot of
you can also develop skill sets in an attacking sense that you'll still be using in the centre anyway.
Yeah,
you know,
so
your decision making in the final third of when and how to pass, you know, your incision with your passing, you know, sort of your range when you're making crossfield switches. These are all things you still do as a central player anyway, you know, like, so, you know, your take on ability, you're still taking on players. You know, if anything, you're taking on players more in that wide area. You know what I mean?
I think what comes down to is a bit more space, so you're not in the hustle and bustle as a central midfielder is. So, yeah, I could see him stepping inside. And again, like I said, by that tactics board, it looked like he was going to play inside. So,
I'm going to maintain what I've said all along. We don't need a winger. People aren't ready for this conversation. Yeah.
I disagree.
On the right hand side, hear me out. Right, on the right hand side, we've got Saka. Pepe's going to go. Vieira can play as a right-sided player. Vieira, in a pre-season, in the under-23 game that he played, Arteta specifically asked him to play there. And I know people have seen that clip going around of that ball in that he played to Smith Rowe when he was running in. Then you've got Marquinhos. Yeah. And then you've got Jesus, who can play on either side. That's 4 players. Yeah.
But
on the left-hand side, you've got you've got Martinelli, you've got ESR, Vieira can play on both sides. Saka can play on both sides. Jesus can play on both sides. That's 5 players. Wait. Let me land, please. I'll let everyone land. Please let me land. Yeah. All right. What I'm saying, is what Canna said. Yeah. What Canna said. Jesus looks like the biggest difference maker in this team is accurate. No one can tell me, that in these first 3 games we've seen a bigger difference maker. What happens if he gets injured?
That's the thing. 100. If he gets injured.
Because I tell you, if Saka or Martinelli get injured, I've just named 3 or 4 or 5 alternatives on each side that are already within our squad. Yeah. Whereas if Jesus gets injured, with the greatest respect to Nketiah, who is improving, who's looking better, you're telling me that's the alternative. When I go through those alternatives on the right hand side already in our squad, and when I go through the alternatives on the left side of the squad, there's nowhere near as big as a drop-off in quality as when I go through the alternatives in the strikers when Jesus gets injured. And people aren't ready for this conversation. I don't know. People are losing their heads a bit. For me,
I hear you, Gunnar. I hear you, but
we bought these 2 players in Vieira and Marquinhos, but then we're saying, we don't have winger alternatives. Did I just not see a Spiders play or like what? I don't know.
I hear you, but we're stepping into the world of the unknown with both of those, man, isn't it? They're unproven in the Prem.
So what?
Although they've looked nice,
stepped into the unknown with so many players that are now fully fledged first team players in our squad. Our youth development, I trust it. Marquinhos, Marquinhos, right?
They've just come in, bro.
Remind people of Marquinhos' story, because he had his contract written at 16, 17, and it was for 5 years. But in Brazil, the maximum that you could do at that age was 3 years. he had a 40 million euro release clause in his contract as a 17-year-old. Yeah, before the last 2 years of that contract were null and voided. What's not to trust, dude?
He's a
The
big talent.
thing is, in that under-23 game, because I've watched that under-23 game as well, him and Vieira cooked in that game.
Look, one of the reasons why Martinelli was able to get off to such a good start is no one was watching my guy, bro. No one was watching. No one was expecting anything of him. So, like,
relative to when he came here, to when he was playing Premier League football, we threw him straight in.
Nah, but
he was in that first season. No loan, barely any time in the under-23s. We put him straight in.
But nobody expected him to go in. That's the difference. So
that's my point. Like,
one second. One second. Sorry. Let me just say in. Well, I hear what both of you are saying. Being the difference being with Martinelli, and I'm not saying Marquinhos can't have the same impact. Obviously, Martinelli's impact straight away was in Europe, so I'm expecting to see the same for Marquinhos if he stays at the club. He will play Thursday nights. I think the pressure now on Arsenal to make top 4 is a lot different than when Martinelli come in. And I think that's the big difference. Arteta can't take another risk. He took a risk in January not signing a striker. It didn't pay off. We've all sat here on the stream and said, really and honestly, if Arteta doesn't get top 4 now, it's probably him out the door because he's been given all the tools he wants now. Do you know what I mean? Or almost because he's still looking for a winger and maybe a midfielder. So I don't think he can't take any chances. For me, sorry, Candace, I just don't think Arteta could take the chance now and the risk because it's how many more opportunities he's going to get like this at this moment in time. Yes, we're cooking. I'll be agreeing with we're flying at the moment. Other teams are stumbling. This could be our best opportunity to get a top 4 place. And does he have another season if he don't get it? And I think the question is for Arteta to answer. And I think personally, he can't take a risk and a gamble on putting a kid in. And if it backfires, we were going to be the first to say it. He should have got himself a winger. We'll be the first ones to say it. So I hear you saying, and I understand the job as well.
Equally, he could take the risk in Jesus remaining fit, and he can get injured, and then straight away we'll be saying the same thing. Why didn't he get another striker?
I think the hardest thing is, where do you find a striker? Because you're seeing United and Chelsea at the moment are struggling to find someone. And again, we won't be shopping in that department because they're looking for a first choice striker. What you're saying is we're looking for someone to play second fiddle. We've seen Tottenham in previous years struggle to find a player to play second fiddle to Harry Kane. Who's going to want to come Arsenal and be a backup striker?
Skamaka would have been perfect, but
is he going to come for that role? I don't know.
The problem that you got to remember that we have, which probably hasn't been spoken about, is that we're near the ceiling of FFP. So Pepe's got to go first before anyone comes in. Anyone comes in, because we are near that ceiling. Because if you look at the money that we spent and obviously the wages that are still being spent on our team, it might be a case actually that King's right, that maybe a winger is not actually what we're actually kind of looking for, going for, or what we need. But I think for us, we definitely need another striker or a centre and a centre midfield player.
The way I see it, right? The way I see it, Arteta has given me absolutely no reason to believe he can't take a young player, in that under-23 bracket, work with them, improve and develop them. Because every single player that he has taken in those circumstances that he has done that with, he has been successful. Even Guendouzi, he was improving, but obviously he had a fallout with Guendouzi. Did he improve Guendouzi as a player? Yes, he did.
Guendouzi is always a star.
Fabio Vieira, we're going on as if he came from the midst of obscurity. He came from Porto, dude. One of the biggest clubs in Portugal. Do you know what I'm saying? He played Champions League football, At 22, man played Champions League football, won 2 league titles, and obviously at the under-21 Portuguese team, man's played 21 games and got 13 goals. We're not talking about some bum here, I don't know. You lot are like, but what if you risk it and it doesn't work out, bro? This guy is gonna work, bro.
No, I'm not saying a long time. We're not saying he's not.
Man, because I was trying to just sit here and be like, calm.
No No one's saying he's a bad player. No one's saying none of them are bad players, and we're not. That's not kind of what we're saying. It's just again when you're looking at the bench, just say you're drawing 1-1 against the Newcastle Wolves, a tough team to break down. You look to your left, who's coming on. You want someone who's going to strike fear, and I'm not saying Vieira's not going to be a player, but actually it might take him time. Again, the physicality league. Pepe is one of the most gifted players we've probably had at the club in a long time, and in moments you see it, but even he struggled to make an impact on his team. So it's that element of putting pressure on a 19-year-old boy for then us to.
Do you know the difference though, Gums? The difference though with Pepe is that he's not Arteta signing.
No, 100%, 100%. But also, again, we could look at the Saliba thing. Imagine if Saliba
don't do that.
No, but what I'm saying, imagine if Saliba come in early and then maybe didn't hit the ground running. What fans would be saying is that throwing them to the wolves at the moment. And again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I truly trust in what them lot are doing at the moment. I hear what Gunner's saying about another striker would be very beneficial for us. Like I've said the same thing. A different style striker would be really good.
Weren't Arteta signings either, bro. So all of that is
no, but they're different. No, because they come from the club and they bleed red and white. They bleed red and white. They know exactly what a North London derby is before even playing in it. They know.
In the favelas wasn't checking out North London derbies, bro. Sorry.
But anyway, John, let's move on.
Within the first season we bought him, he barely touched the under-23s and he didn't get loaned out. He got put straight in.
Yeah, you do.
I'm sorry, like he gives me even more reason because when you look at Marquinhos, he is far more physically developed than Martinelli when he come. Far more. He looks like a goddamn specimen, bro. Have you seen him?
Bruv, you never heard of him.
He looks like he actually looks like a Premier League player already. Do you know what I mean? In terms of his physical stature.
I'll be real.
Leo Bailey looked like a baller in the Bundesliga.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
Because I've got a brethren from Reading who was banging goals in 23s, and he's on the loan to Northampton.
Let me put it like this. Hang on. Let me finish landing. Yeah, let me finish landing. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, because Marquinhos hasn't been loaned out. Yeah, and he's been training with the first team. So, if, in my opinion, yeah, Arteta and Edu, they're seeing my school of thought here because they're like, look, if this guy wasn't ready, we'd loan him out, and we would have done it sooner. We wouldn't be waiting until the end of the window. We'd be giving him pre-season with that team, like all the other players we loaned out, right? You get what I'm saying? Have a pre-season with that team so that when the season actually starts, you're ready to impact and integrate with that team for the whole of the season, like Tavares.
But does that mean
the only thing I tempered that with? The only thing I tempered that with, I understand what you're saying, King. The only thing is that this kid is a young kid, and I think what they want to do is settle him down first. Okay, they want him to have normally, the first 6 months. He's going to be hard. He's a boy. He's a young kid coming from a totally different country, totally different culture, totally different way of playing football. So they're going to settle him down. They could never bring him in and send him straight out on loan. They could never do that to that boy. It might happen if he settles down well and he's integrated and he's actually kind of playing with the first team, in terms of training and stuff. Then I think come January, there may be a decision to make, either integrate him with the first team, start giving him proper minutes, or
before we get rid of it, I'm going to wrap this up.
When the Europa League group games come, he plays and stuff.
Yeah, but that's a complete different argument. Like again, that's not an issue.
And then we'll have this conversation again, my friend.
Also, what we've got to look at is Vieira's come back to fitness. He's played 45 minutes in the 23s, and he's made the bench. Marquinhos has been fit all pre-season. Played pre-season games, played 23 games.
He's got to settle first.
And he hasn't made the bench yet. So
I'm not talking. Look, even what I'm saying is, I didn't say throw him into the Premier League game straight away, but I'm saying this guy, by the end of this season, he is going to be integrated fully into our squad and playing Premier League football, bro. Like coming off the bench, you know what I'm saying? So my point is, the squad options are there, like they're already in the squad.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on from this anyhow, because we're kind of all saying the same thing, and none of us are disputing that he's not going to be a big part to play. Do you know what I mean? Again, for me, it would be keep him till January, let him play Europa League games. Come Jan, he then goes out on loan because now he can go and play the rest. Because again, once we get through that Europa League stage,
business,
more difficult games. Less rotation in them European games. So actually, yeah, keep him till then, and then maybe he does his loan. He can then settle into the country in an area where there's a lot of Brazilians because he's in London. Even that, it might be trying to find him a London team so he's near Martinelli. He's near Edu.
Fulham
do you know
would
what I
be
mean? So
fantastic for him.
even like so maybe the Premier Championship team, anything. Do you know what I mean? But I think keeping him close to London would be really beneficial. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even a Watford. They're meant to be losing wingers.
Brentford, whatever.
I think Watford would be brilliant because Sarr's meant to be leaving, João Pedro's leaving. So do you know what I mean? And he's next door to Arsenal because the training grounds are next door. So you can keep an eye on him, isn't it? Same thing what happened with Bellerin when he was younger. So who knows what will happen? But again, I think you're right. We have got 2 gems who are going to come through. But again, I think it's try and keep the expectations to a minimum and let them, do you know what I mean, gradually come in. But let's move on from transfers. I'm sure we can touch on transfers again later on in the week.
How about quickly about transfers? You see Tielemens, yeah? I was a bit down and out about the Tielemens thing when it came to what we actually need, but we might. The reason why I think we might still get him is because I believe if Partey is not playing, Arteta has some different ideas to how he's going to set up the midfield anyway. So even though we know we don't have particular cover for Partey, I see him playing a little bit different. Maybe play Tielemens, El Neni, and Xhaka, and then I don't know, but like I think I might have some other ideas. So Tielemens is not dead for me now.
Yeah, all right, yeah, cool. And again, well, you don't know what's true because weekend Fofana didn't make the squad at all, whereas Tielemans made the bench and came off the bench. So maybe his head is not as turned as much as Fofana's, but Brendan Rodgers' comments were quite strong, and he did say obviously like some of the players' heads ain't in the right place. So let's see what happens with that one. But let's move on because again, I haven't seen some of you for a little while, especially after what's been going on. So let's just get the banner up first, guys. Thank you for the comments as well. Sorry I haven't read any out, but you know this stream's been cooking just like the team is. So yeah, I haven't got to them, but you will see them running down below. But look at the banner, boys. Look at the banner. Who would have thought that a year ago?
We just got to maintain it, man. Don't get too kind of gassed on what we're doing. Just keep. Do you know what I mean?
Let me
the old cliche. The old cliche. Take each game as it comes.
Let me remove
we've got Fulham on Saturday. It'll pose a different problem. I can't wait to see Saliba against what's his name up top for Fulham? What's his name? Yeah. See, we got 2 central defenders who will not be ruffled in that physical challenge. And I'm liking it, man. The spine of the team is looking. Jeez.
But Candace, can you say that for first? Come and join me on Thursday for the preview. We can talk about this.
100%.
Let's talk about the games 100%. That have just gone. So,
100%.
guys, obviously, in terms of first 3 games, top of the league, 3 wins. How impressed have you been, James, with this new look Arsenal? And yeah, what's your thoughts on everything going on at the moment at the club?
Yeah, I think in my honest opinion, the yes, last game was nice, but I was more impressed with the Leicester performance than I was with the Bournemouth performance. And the reason why I was more impressed is we showed a bit of resilience. I felt like in Bournemouth, it was nice to see that we didn't really have a player that played bad across the board in the starting 11. We all played well. And what is it? In the Leicester game, I felt like Thomas Partey didn't play great, and I felt like Gabriel didn't play great. But for the
Partey was terrible against Leicester.
For real, for the first time in a long time, I felt like last season we all 11 of our players needed to be playing well in order to get a result. Whereas I felt like in Palace and in Leicester, not everyone was on song, not everyone was performing to the high level. But we now have, going back to what you guys are saying, is Jesus seems to have, I don't know if it's just Jesus or Zinchenko or whatever it is, but they're taking responsibility for the game. Like if someone is dipped in form, someone's like, right, okay, look, I'm going to perform to a level where I'm carrying the lack of load that you're not giving us today. And that's where I'm most excited about. And yes, people have been saying, look, you haven't faced anyone big yet. You haven't faced any reasonable competition. But for me, Palace and Leicester, especially Palace, considering the short turnaround from the end of last season where let's be real, we got battered at Selhurst Park. We got absolutely battered 3-0, right? I think it was 3-0 anyway.
Yeah.
Compared to now where the first half of that Palace game, they didn't do anything, especially the first 35 minutes. Like, we looked like City. We snuffed everything. We were literally camping.
We're scoring goals like them as well, isn't it?
And it's nice to see that, because I don't know, Jesus is the big difference, that having someone that you're just like, right, okay, look, I want to give you the ball. Like, you're going to make things happen. And it's not when we get it to Odegaard, like last season, who did he have to pass it to? Lacazette. As I said, he was playing DM. Like, I don't know what was going on. Like, and it's just, we are creating chances now, and it's nice to see that it's not just we have one chance and we've got to score it, otherwise we're not going to get a result from the game, because that's what it was last season. And yeah, man, I couldn't be happier. I have felt this for a long time, and it's historically documented on this channel as well, that we are going to do a madness this summer and we're going to perform. We're going to step up a level. And the scary part is we're only three games into this season. I don't think we're anywhere close to our ceiling yet, because we're simply due to the age of the squad and looking at who we're bringing in as well, potentially Pedro Neto, Tielemens. Not to go back to transfer talk because we moved past that yet, but if we add these, we're looking like serious team here. So yeah, man, I couldn't be happier.
Serious team. I like you ended like that.
Nigel, I'm going to come to you. What have you been impressed with more? No. Let me ask you this one. Okay. What have you been impressed with more? The results or the performances? And do you feel, if it's performances, do you feel we still got more levels we can go up? Because I think Brentford, we was in gear 1.
Yeah, for me, the results more than the performances. Just like James said, when we didn't have to step out of gear 1 against Bournemouth. And what I've liked this season, I don't know if I think I spoke about it on the reaction for Leicester, but what I've liked the most is, even though we've missed quite a few chances in some games, right? We've always scored at the times where we needed to score. Like, so for example, against Leicester, we got the early first goal, then the second goal. They scored to make it 2-1. We missed some chances in between it, but when they scored to make it 2-1, it was like, okay, sharpen up again. We got to make it 3-1. Then we missed a few chances in the middle. They scored. They're like, what's going on here? Let us score again. So we gave them another goal. Then we were a little bit wasteful. So against Bournemouth, scored early, got the second goal. When Bournemouth were getting a little bit, not like they were getting busy, but getting a little bit excited. You know how certain teams get excited, small. You had to shut them down and said, Omar, relax. Take one more for the road. We gave them to make it free. So we've been clinical at the right times is what I've liked the most. And in terms of our 3 new signings this summer has been the difference. Saliba is a new signing because he made his debut this season. Zinchenko and Jesus, because for Zinchenko and Jesus, if you remember the Palace game, second half, Zinchenko was getting cooked, bro. Left, right, and centre. It was awful. He had a really good first half. He got cooked. But since that, maybe he got that feedback, he's been exceptional. Unsung hero. He's been absolutely everywhere. He gives us a different dynamic from that left back position.
I think there was a fitness thing, really.
Yeah,
in that first game.
Maybe. Do you know, and I said this on Saturday stream. We spoke about Arteta's substitutions and how late they're coming. And my thing is, actually, is he trying to keep building up these players' fitness? Because some of them might have only played 190 minutes before the season started. So actually, by giving them 60, it's not enough. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be a game where they've got to get through 90 because it might be lack of squad depth or it's a tight 1-1. So actually, is this his way of saying, actually, let me keep blasting you boys for 80 minutes to keep that fitness level up or to increase your fitness level? So if and when it does come to that day where I can't make the changes or you guys can get through 90. Do you know what I mean?
So. And also because of the fact that we've got a week's rest between games currently. So
they're not going to get minutes.
So maybe that's also come into question. But as I said, our new signings, we're just doing madness. Like free Saliba. I mean, you saw Zinchenko's reaction to his goal, like bouncing back. Look, most players, young, let's say he didn't have that loan spell and he made that mistake where he scored the own goal against Leicester. I guarantee you he probably has a stinker for the rest of that game. And maybe the fans are still a bit umming and ahhing about him at that point. But the fans got right behind him. And for me, he still banged a 7 out of 10. Only got 7 out of 10 rather than 8. because of the goal. He would have got 8 if not for the own goal. And then came back, solid performance again, looking like our most composed defender. I was reluctant to say it, but every week he's making me think it. He's our best centre-back at the club currently, and it's crazy. Like, I wouldn't say it's embarrassing for the other two, but the other two need to buck up their ideas because this boy is cooking right now, and long may he continue though.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. They've made such a difference, and again, this is timing's everything. Like you said, this mistake happening from Saliba a year ago, maybe we drop points. The difference it could have on his career at Arsenal, or how his start is, or how fans view him. Whereas at the moment, there's a togetherness. I think Arteta said he hasn't heard someone get cheered for, or like the way we reacted to that own goal. He's never heard that before. It shows that the fans are totally behind the guy. I love Zinchenko's interview about Saliba the other day. I'm not sure if you guys heard it, but he was like, he mentioned Saliba, and he was like, the boy is unreal. He's unbelievable. And for someone who's been in City's dressing room, it was almost like he was lost for words about Saliba. Do you know what I mean? And
his reaction to the goal was just like,
the
oh
goal
my
was
God,
one thing.
What more can this kid do?
Yeah, and I think that it showed me like actually he's probably looking at Saliba thinking, you're better than the centre halves we had at City, and we had some good centre halves. Do you know what I mean? He was almost in awe of him to look at him to say maybe like you're almost like a company to me. Like there was something about how he spoke about him.
Why do you always have to take it there, bro? We could have just had a nice chilled conversation. Sorry. Talking about City defenders, company, and all that.
Sometimes you can see a man who made the words answer, and he's like,
back, please.
I'm sorry, but he's talking to Zinchenko's talking like he said he was lost for words, and almost to say like this boy's got everything. Do you know what I mean? And like there's something strong building, man. But yeah, after the first 3 canners, like I know you haven't really been on much. So yeah, tell us your thoughts on the first 3 games, like how you're feeling about watching this team at the moment, how much you're enjoying it. You're a lucky devil, you got a season ticket. So how excited are you about going to watch Arsenal this season at the Emirates? And again, even the new chants, like
it's superb. The whole atmosphere is great. Obviously the Leicester game was the first home game of the season and stuff, so obviously there's going to be that hype, especially after the Crystal Palace game, etc. But yeah, it's a totally different atmosphere. It's gone up another level, basically. That kind of feel good, that kind of, it's like we've got something back. And also as well, I have to say, it gives me goosebumps. The song at the start just before we kick off. That's another level as well.
Which song?
North London Forever.
North London Forever. No, seriously, man. It's a good touch. It's a good touch, man, and it works.
It doesn't say Arsenal in the song.
It lets the world know that. It lets the world know that North London belongs to us.
He's an Arsenal fan, isn't he? He's an Arsenal man.
But does he say Arsenal in the song?
No, but he's an Arsenal man. He's talking about the streets, and he's an Arsenal man.
Talking about the streets of North London being red, bruv.
100. Listen. I think he's
a friend of the
way.
owners,
I think
his song, man. I beg.
I think the worst half we've had in the 3 games was the second half against Palace. Look, and the thing is though, you're gonna expect that first game of the season. We're playing away from home. A team like Palace with their crowd, they're gonna have the crowd. They're amazing.
It's one of the Crystal Palace and St James's Park.
Yeah,
as we saw yesterday, are 2 of the most hospitable environments you will go to as an away team. Yeah, don't matter who you are. Yeah, because when you step in those stadiums, as an away team, you're in trouble. Because those fans, they're on you. They're on you. You know what I mean? Like even Palace's away support. Last season, I was at the home game. Yeah, when we drew 2-2 to them, bro. They were loud. The 2 loudest away fans that I witnessed last season was Palace and Leeds. And when I went to watch us play Leeds, it was only a Carabao Cup game. They were raucous, bruv. You know what I'm saying? They would like. So yeah, like I have to agree with Canners. Like to go away to Palace for the first game, to actually not play.
You're gonna be under pressure. You're gonna be under pressure.
In my opinion, Palace were the better team for 60 minutes. But
I would say in the first, it was definitely in the second half. I'd give you that for the last I would say for the majority of the second half, they were the better team.
I definitely think a period at the end of the first half as well, they were starting to assert themselves.
Yeah,
but actually, the difference that we're seeing is the fans' belief didn't drop with that one goal, because one goal leads in the last 2 seasons have not been enough in many occasions. Do you know what I mean? To not hold on to games. Yeah, but to actually, for me, I saw more in that game than the other two, in the sense that we didn't lose our belief. We defended outstandingly.
Some people say we was lucky, but I beg to differ, because the thing is, when you've got a good keeper, a good keeper makes his own good luck.
It's not just the keeper as well. Ben White made 8 tackles in that game, more than any other player in the opening weekend. You know what I mean? Saliba, his metrics, if you look at them all, for interceptions, for tackles, for aerial drills, they were through the roof. So Candace is absolutely right. We made our luck in that game, in terms of how well we defended. And then we went up in the other end when they were throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us, and we went and killed their spirit by getting that second goal.
When last have we done that?
Exactly. So for me, what we've seen in the other 2 games is that attacking menace, man. 9 goals scored, more than any other team in the opening day sequence. And certain mans went out and bought Haaland to replace certain Jesuses. Do you know what I mean? Certain mans went out and got Nunes, after they lost Mane. Certain man have got Kane and Son in their front 3, and listen, them man look dead. I'll be real. They look dead. I expected them to go Chelsea, and make that place their playground. And they were running around celebrating draws a week after Leeds went and absolutely slapped them and celebrated an actual win. They don't scare me. They do not scare me. Let me tell you what these 3 games have shown me. They should be fearing us. That's what it showed me. These man, I've got all their fans coming up to me after they were saying it's just pre-season. Jesus was the backup striker to a team that doesn't even use a striker. Zinchenko's a backup left back to a team that doesn't even have a natural left back. You know what they're all running around saying to me now? You look kind of scary still. You're goddamn right we look kind of scary, You're goddamn right we are here to scare you, We are here to scare you. That's what these 3 games are showing me, That these lot better damn recognise, that we've been saying it all along, Our days of being a banter club, they're very close to being over, This sleeping giant in North London, it's awakened from its slumber, and it's come from everything. Every goddamn thing in our sight, That's what these 3 games have shown me, that we actually believe that is possible. That cabinet is going to be completed soon.
The only thing I can say that we can get.
I don't want to hear no blue Mitches from the west side of London chatting to me about what colour this city is. That's what these 3 games are showing me, that we have a purpose, that we know what we got to do, and that we are able to go out there when it's tough and our backs against the wall against the teams like Palace, that we got the resolve. And when we got the other teams where there's a little bit of doubt, you should be beating those teams, but can you do that? Slap them. Slap them.
Listen, the thing, the only luck I think that we need this season is injuries. That's the only thing. If we can keep certain key players fit or not get any serious injuries to any, you can take, to certain key players, I think we'll be all right this season, and we will mount a really good title challenge. I'm excited.
Whoa! Title challenge?
No. I said a challenge. I don't say that we would win it.
I'm not saying you say win it, but you're saying actually that's the earmark now is not.
I don't see why we can't be in and amongst within touching distance of the top 2 teams. I'm talking between 1 and 5 points. I think we can be there or thereabouts for a long time.
Yeah, no, fair play. I said we're definitely in the ascendancy, and what we're building again it's legs in what we're building. It's not just a one season wonder.
Listen, I don't want to plug it and stuff, and however, watching that all or nothing thing, I thought we would be banter FC on that last season.
Yeah, we come
right?
quite
I
good,
really
didn't we?
did. But I just see this team and what they're doing in a whole different light. I think how they spun it, I don't know, but they're coming out smelling roses after this, even though they didn't make top 4.
You know what All or Nothing showed me? It showed me that look, Arteta's trying, man. At the end of the day, he's trying, and a lot of the issues that
I love it when he loses his voice.
Yeah,
every game, that is. It's every game.
Every game, man, losing his voice, man. That's my manager right there, man. I said it all damn along. Yeah, that man is my manager. Like, he's got the tactical nous. He knows what he's doing. You know, people were saying he's a soft touch with certain players. He threw the book at Aubameyang, his captain. Probably, you know, some would have said maybe, you know, in terms of his quality and what he'd achieved, one of his better players. He didn't pander to him. Look at United pandering to Ronaldo, pandering to all these players. Where's it getting them? In the mud. Yeah, my man has collectively been like, I am trusting these young players. Yeah, and I'm moving with the ones that buy into my ideas, my belief, and my philosophy. And if you ain't gonna toe the goddamn line, yeah, you can get gone. Get gone. Yeah. He's shown he's ruthless. He's shown he's tough. And all this chitter chatter, yeah, that people were saying about it, you know, like how he managed certain players. Yeah, like I just don't want to hear. I'm not interested in it, man, because he's what he's given us back here is a standard. Yeah. You play for Arsenal, you put those cannons above your chest. Yeah. This is a big responsibility. And if you can't do the basics, the non-negotiables, get gone. Yeah. What he's shown is that he's instilled an ethos, you know, a style of play.
Bring back the respect to the name.
Yeah, and he's taken us back to what we were. A team that trusted youth, a team that played attacking football with verve and menace. Yeah, like, and a team that essentially believes in that. You know, that believes that we will go out there and score against anyone. And I'm telling you, for a long time, I've not heard rivals talk about Arsenal from the perspective of fear. We fear you now. Even Tottenham fans, even Liverpool fans, even Chelsea fans, even City fans have been saying, this Arsenal is no joke. I cannot remember. I have to go back to the Wenger years to hear about these rivals actually talking about Arsenal Football Club from a perspective of fear. Do you know how powerful that is? Because what happens then when people come to the Emirates? They're already beaten. Do you remember when we used to have that? People would come to the carpet and they would like, boy, it's long.
Yeah,
it's a long
teams were beaten in the tunnel. Teams were beaten in the tunnel before they even stepped on the pitch.
You was thinking, let me come out of there losing 1-0 or 2-0 and just get home in it. That's what you was thinking when you saw them boys in the dugout next to you. Like, let's just get out of it ASAP. As long as
we need to get away from not last season so much, but the season before, where teams will come into us and thinking they can get all 3 points. Stop that.
And that's what
they need to get back to the times where teams actually try and shut up shop. That's what it needs to get back to.
Just before we go, because we're going to come off the stream a bit, James, I'm going to come to you first. So we've kind of looked at the first 5 games at the start of the season. We've taken 9 points from it. So I didn't want to look at the next 2 because we've got Fulham and Villa. I wanted to go for the next 5 from now. So if you don't know, we've got Fulham at home, Villa at home, United away, Everton at home, Brentford away. So the next 5, what do you reckon we can get out of that next 5?
15.
Don't do this, Rad.
15.
15. You reckon you going all 15?
Yeah. I genuinely believe we can go maximum points. I don't know if Spurs is the fixture after the next 5.
I think in October we've got Spurs, Man City and Liverpool.
The Brentford game takes us to the 18th of September. I don't know if there's an international break after that.
Yeah, because I genuinely, up until I even think including the Spurs game, I don't think that there's a possibility that we can get all points, genuinely.
Yeah, you're that confident with it as well. And obviously there's a possibility, but are you confident we can do it?
Okay, if we're basically, don't just, Conley isn't liking the whole thing about me adding Spurs. Up until Spurs, the next 5 fixtures, I think, we can have 24 points.
Yeah, and just to clarify, we got Brentford. Then there's a big break from the 18th of September to the 1st of October, and then
Then Spurs are coming to the Emirates to hold corn.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, bro.
You're going 15.
I think in terms of fixtures that I expect to lose, in terms of losses for the season, I expect us to lose 5. That's where I'm at. 2 to City, 2 to Liverpool, and I'm going to say it because we tend to do kind of rough there at Spurs' ground. That's the fixture I expect to lose or draw. So that's why I'm saying 5.
Wow.
I say we're not going to lose at home. There's only 2 games we could possibly lose at home, and that's Man City and Liverpool.
Possibly, you know.
Hold on, wait, Nigel, I've got to bring you in. I've got to get because these guys are up here right now. So Nigel, what we saying? Right, first of all, give me. Answer James what James and Candace are saying, because they're saying Candace saying unbeaten at home. James is saying we're losing 5 games, and that's 2 to Liverpool, 2 to City, and maybe 1 at White Hart Lane. Are we getting a bit too carried away?
Obviously they are getting carried away as usual, isn't it? Like you know, especially James. I didn't think he'll draw Canners into the bandwagon, but all that unbeaten stuff. Look, guys, I love what we're seeing of Arsenal, but for example, I think if you look at our fixtures in October, I think that's the month where we really get to see what Arsenal we're talking about. Because as much as we expect to pick up points here and there, we've gone through to games and gone into season expecting to pick up points here and there. Let us do it, please. Because like I said last season, and I'm going to say it again this season, 90 minutes at a time. This one is us now. Of course, yes. If you look at them on paper, we should win all the games on paper, but you never know with us.
Football's not played on paper, right?
Exactly. So as much as I'm excited, as much as people are bantering teams that are at the bottom of the league, if they can banter teams at the bottom of the league, then we got to enjoy the teams that are at the top of the league as well, too, innit? Regardless of whether.
Can I just ask you a quick question, Nige? This time last year, you maintained that we'd probably get 8th.
No, I didn't maintain that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I said top 6. Bro. I said top 6.
Okay. Okay. 8th, and then you went to top 6. Where are you now?
I'm top 4 until that's secure, innit? Once that's secure, we can start having other conversations. But for me, we've been out of the Champions League for so long, out of the top 4s for so long. Let us collect that one first. Then, once that's in the bag, we can start entertaining potential other opportunities.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
I agree with kind of Greg here.
I think it's between 3rd and 5th and winning Europa League.
Yeah.
I genuinely think we can win Europa League this season.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
I
agree.
Right, just quickly,
the mad push. But in terms of our next games, Gonza.
Yeah, give me 5. Give me your points at the next 5, please, King, and then Nigel, I need your points as well.
What I need us to do is to comfortably beat Fulham and Aston Villa to go to Old Trafford. If we take that fear factor to Old Trafford, the state they're in at the moment, I would love it. If we went there, the crossover show with the Man United agenda boys will be awesome.
I hear that. So King, are you going maximum points for your next 5 as well?
Yeah, so I think genuinely we can win all 5 of those games.
They're definitely winnable, but do you think we'll do
it? I think I'll be happy to accept some leeway or some grace with the Old Trafford fixture because it is historically a very difficult place to go. I think it had been 6 years before the season before last since we had gone there and actually won. You know, like so.
It's not the easiest.
Old Trafford can be a bit sticky, no matter what state they're in. It's a big derby. You know what I mean? Like, you know, between 2 clubs that historically have got mad beef. So, I think the other games, looking at them, I think Fulham will be tough. You know, Mitrovic, the way he's playing, the physicality, you know, like people talking, saying, oh, yeah, every other time he's come to the Prem, he's flopped. He can never bring his championship levels to the Prem. I think he came into this season a little angry, you know, like he's playing with that edge. You know, he wants to shut people up. So I think we need to watch him, you know, like we saw what he did to Van Dijk. We saw what he did to Henderson.
He ain't doing that to Saliba.
Listen, all I'm saying is we just got to respect him a little. We got to put a little respect in his name, but if we can get through Fulham, I believe Villa. I believe Villa. We again.
We turn them over.
They got some tricky players like Watkins, but I think we can bully them, man.
All right. So points wise, you're saying you're going maximum. James went maximum. Canners, I need points. How many points out of these 5?
I think there might be a draw in there. I'll be all right with 13.
All right. Let me go at you, Nigel.
12 to 13 points, I think. And I'll be happy with that.
I think 11.
I'll take that.
2 out of the 5, man.
So I was going to say to you, would you be disappointed if we won our home games, which would be Fulham, Villa, and Everton, and drew away at United and Brentford? So again, you're unbeaten in 8. With that,
I'll be disappointed if we drew against Brentford because I feel we should do them. But United being United, a draw will be okay as long as we don't lose. We can't lose there.
I think for me, if we can get through them 5 without a defeat, like yes, if we draw all 5 of them, it's disappointing. But
we need to shoot up the brothel, man. We need to shoot up the brothel, man. We have to go to Old Trafford and shoot them up, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Everybody
Brentford's the harder game. But right, guys, listen, we could have gone on forever. Guys in the comments, appreciate you. We've got Neil here, Gunnar Greg, Ravel, Mr. Tony, Silver Fox.
Gunnar Greg talked sense though. Fulham are a problem, and it will be tough.
That's going to be a difficult one. Definitely a difficult one. So yeah,
big
guys,
up Neil as well, man.
Big up.
Respect, Neil, bro.
Who's jumped in earlier as well. So yeah, sorry we didn't read much comments out, but as I said, it's 5-man panel. We ain't linked up in a long time, so there was a lot of fat to be chewed in it.
In a minute.
So yeah, appreciate everybody. Do you know what? If you lot are down, I'm down to go again tomorrow, man. Like we got to keep going. Like I'm here. So
I'm down, man.
All right. So guys, your policy is tomorrow.
I'm going to be doing my Big Six show.
Yeah, when's the Big Six show?
Tomorrow in the evening as well.
All right, so we might have 2 shows for you tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
That'd be sick. So yeah, if we were on tomorrow, obviously King plug that tomorrow. Give us the time you'll be doing that. The show last week was ridiculously good, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow's.
Wicked.
And I will be making a cameo appearance maybe in a couple of weeks because youth clubs are closed for a few weeks from next week. So yeah, next week, King. Actually, next week I'm free on a Tuesday, so put me in. I'm in next Tuesday. I'm putting my place in there from now. Yeah, there'd be a preview show. There's lots going on, but guys, it's been a pleasure. Canners, when are we going to see Gunslingers back as well? This was a Gunslingers, I'll be honest. We might have to retitle this because this.
Yeah,
no. We'll see it back soon. I need to kind of get my feet back. Holiday season is now done. I literally arrived back at 4:30 this morning. Mm-hmm. So I'm running on fumes right now, but I couldn't miss this one, man. As soon as you put out, I was like, I want to
let you know, Canners has spent more time outside the UK since the end of the season than he has inside the UK.
Oh, man. Right. Rubbing shoulders with agents and all sorts, bruv. He's a big deal.
I wish. That credit card statement's gonna hurt. That's what I'm gonna say.
You got to put overtime in September.
It's gonna hurt.
But yeah, James. James, we needed to discuss something as well because actually I think we need a little something. Maybe not weekly because weekly gets difficult, but I reckon a monthly show where we round up everything is what me and you need to be doing. So, and Niger, I know you lot are manic on the One Touch TV channel, man. Like the live streams, the energy for you and Kademi is crazy, bro.
Just say, Niger, I'm free now, man. So if you do what you know what I mean,
are you sure, Kenneth?
I'm there, man.
You in, yeah? Good.
Please.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. Glad to have you back, bro.
Nah, it's loving it. We're picking up pace, man. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. We'll catch you tomorrow. Everyone have a good evening. And actually, let's get ready for that bottom of the table clash tonight.
Yeah. Relegation battle.
Relegation 6-pointer.
Big one, mate. Big one. It feels so nice to be able to watch football and just sit back and enjoy it.
So relaxed. I can enjoy this game, bro. Relaxed.
Do you know what? I think I want to draw. A draw or a United loss.
Yeah,
one of the
United
not a loss.
Not a loss.
Like United beating. It's got to be a beating.
Yeah, proper hiding.
Let's get some scores. James, what are you going for this game tonight, man? This big 6-pointer at the bottom.
3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, Canners.
I say 2-0 Liverpool.
Niger.
I strangely think 2-2, you know. I don't know why, man.
King
going for Desmond.
4-0 Liverpool, and actually I made a correct prediction for the Arsenal game the other day. I put it on my TikTok as well. I cut out the bit where I said 3-0 Arsenal, and then I made a next video, and I was like, what happened? So I just said, 4-0 Liverpool. Like, if you see that, oh my God. Somebody is going to be in hiding. It's going to be lovely to see, bro.
I didn't know.
Ever since they bought that on that preseason birthday cake, man, he's been taking licks.
Hey, just one thing. If you put that score up again, if that Ten Hag would have to go, wouldn't he?
That Ten Hag's saying about these Dutch managers coming in, this Frank de Boer effect, mate. I'm telling you, like, it's not that simple in the Prem.
They're finding out, boy. The Prem ain't easy, man.
I think you got to stick with him, but yeah, he's made a lot of mistakes. I draw comparisons of him and Arteta quite a lot at the moment, and I think he's making the wrong decisions all too often. Not even in his starting lineup.
He's got to learn.
He's got to be a bit sterner, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Casemiro is a big signing, but it doesn't make much of a difference. But again, it's a United signing. 5 years for a 30-year-old. They're going to end up in the same situation in 3 years' time, where he's picking up big wages. And is he gonna make the difference long term? Who knows? But
come on, to leave Real Madrid to go United, you're looking for a payday. That's it, right? Yeah, you ain't looking trophies. You're looking my kids and them being secure. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah. It's a retirement.
Secure the bag, my G, and join your fellow double agents in Varane and Ronaldo and destroy that club from within, bro. What it is, bro. It's a double.
Can you imagine that phone call to Varane? He'd be saying, "Listen, I'm playing 50% of the matches and getting paid more money. Like, why would you not come here, guy? Why would you not come?" So
the nightclubs are good here. Why not, man?
Boy, we're living, guys. So yeah, we see what happens with them lot. But yeah, I say I could just be proud of what my team's achieving. And again, the direction the club's heading in, it seems like a club with a plan.
Oh man, then Casemiro, you know, I'm dying.
Oh mate, I'm telling you now, boy. But yeah, something's going on down there. I think there's some money laundering for the Glazers. I think that he's hiring these men to this. I'll give you this big pay pack. I need a little piece on the and on the backside in it. So something's going on down there. But guys, for that, we're out. We can enjoy watching United agenda tonight because I can't see nothing else but a slapping for them, man, tonight.
Slapping.
Nothing but a slapping. So yeah, Amandi, Mr. B, we're gonna see you soon, man. We're gonna see you soon. On our side, we out of here, guys. Thank you, and we'll catch you tomorrow.